here you go. Go. Good? That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail. Yeah, looks pretty good.
Look how broad that thing is.
What if I was on that pulled me in?
Beautiful. Oh my, that's a big fish. Limp.
That's what I've been waiting for all day.
That's over 6. Oh. That's a good fish. Donkey. That's a heavy spot.
Oh my God, please get the net. Please get the net.
I got you, buddy.
That was the weirdest one ever. There you go. What the? Oh yeah, he's got another 4.5.
Oh my God, this might be it. If I can land this fish. Holy sh! 5.06. She's thick. Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy! What a beast! Dude, that's it! That's it! 4 pounds smaller than any picture. Oh wow!
That might be a 4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4. You gotta show that off too. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy! Trailer just getting that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, that's unbelievable. That's it.
He's still swimming. What happened to me?
Yup. 5.3. Sorry for freaking out. My first fish of the year. There we go. That's a big fish. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes! 4.14 though. Gee. Not too shabby. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Real Northern Bass Talk. Coffee. No alcohol tonight, just caffeine. All right, who do we got in the chat? One back. Ron, I don't know if you're still here or not, but just in case, hello. Bob, Chris, David, Dean, hey friend, little Tommy, Gordy, Kyle, Ethan, TV18, and MD.
Good evening.
How is everybody doing on this fantastic, beautiful fall day here in October? Dude, it was like 71 today. Oh, hey, Derek.
It was actually pretty nice.
It was beautiful. Every time I had to go to multiple meetings at work, every time I crossed from building to building, I was like, I really wish I was working remote today because I would take my laptop and park right outside.
You know, I had
Wi-Fi in and be good.
I took all the stickers off this Yamaha snowmobile today.
Yeah.
This dude bought, like, it had to have been like 15 or 20 like Yamaha
Is that
sticker packs.
Oh God!
I probably took off close to 300 stickers off this thing.
Oh my God!
It's mint now.
There you go. Hey Brian, how's it going, friend? So tonight, it's all about you guys tonight. Every week we pick a topic, and we try and hammer that down. Or I ask you guys to pick a topic, but we hone in on one very specific topic or one specific technique or an interview, and then we have like open topic nights, and that's just like a free for all to talk about literally anything. Tonight, it's still a free-for-all, but it's very specific to just baits and or techniques. I know I said baits in the video title, but you get what I mean. So that's the plan for the night. We'll do a very, 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 very quick recap of this fishing weekend. First and foremost, for those that are here, obviously, one, thank you very much for joining the show, as always. We greatly appreciate you. Second, if you haven't done so, please drop a like on the stream. I see 33 of you and only 8 likes. Come on.
It's like right down here somewhere.
It'd be very, very helpful.
Side. I don't remember where it is.
Yep. Dropping likes on the videos, leaving comments. That's another big thing. A lot of the streams don't get many comments after the fact, which kind of makes sense because most of you are here during it live anyway. But anybody that's willing to do that, like, hugely appreciate any effort that you guys are willing to put in. Sharing it, social media posts, sharing the stream before or after, like especially after, that's been hugely helpful. Like, man, anything that you guys are willing to do, we really appreciate. So thank you for those that do it. Anybody who wants to make donations, by all means, feel free to do so. No pressure from us. You can do it either here through YouTube on the chat if you're set up to do so, or down the video description below. is links to both our Venmo and PayPal. Doesn't matter what you send or if you even send anything. But anything you guys do send is very helpful and much appreciated. You can't see it because I forgot to do a video, but behind you is the latest upgrade courtesy of your donations. We got 2 brand new 40-inch TVs that are basically just giant monitors. Like, they're really low quality, but they're specifically meant for using like with a computer, and it just makes it easier for multitasking. Oh,
Probably won't be able to see it, but
you know what you can do? You know what you can do?
I have no idea.
Message that to me.
Okay. Like
on Messenger, and I can share it, and then people can see it. There we go. See? Technology. And this is where this is going to make this a lot easier. It's going to be great. So that is kind of the game plan for tonight. Weekend fishing recap. I found my manhood with the glide.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And it went really well.
Awesome. It was
That's
sick.
It. Don't even. That's it. That's all you got to know. And it was great, and things went really well. We tried a bunch of really weird shit too, because we're scouting for tournaments, and some of the weird shit paid off. Some of it didn't. I specifically didn't try a lot of traditional stuff. Water temp is definitely falling. That's the extent of it, because I know there's some of those tournament guys that are watching. I'm on to you, fellas. We're not giving you too much here. We're going to make you work for it. So that tournament is this weekend, 2-day tournament for Berkshire Bass. And then 2 weeks from this Saturday, we're fishing the Ben's Tackle Shack tournament. Did you ask about that?
I did not ask. I will tomorrow.
This is what I got to deal with. This is what I got to deal with. This is what I got all the time, every day.
I'm stupid.
You know what? I should get the free promo here. Make me a deal. Go.
Oliver already have a deal
There we
with
go. You know what? It's a great question.
Give me a deal.
Black Rifle. No, we don't want them.
Okay.
They're not like they used to be. All right.
The French vanilla is so bomb.
Syrup. Anyway, let's get into it. All right. I already saw a couple of questions. And we got to go. Oh, whoa. I literally did just say, send me that picture.
Yes.
So I could share it with everybody, and I didn't even do that. So let me share that first, and then we can go ahead and get on with the damn stream and answer all your questions. This is like, I cannot begin to tell you how hugely helpful this is. So now if I go present and share screen, we're going to do Chrome tab. Can I share it? Is there anything there that should be fine. Share. There you go. It was quite the setup. Big ass lights, dual monitors, the whole friggin' Rodecaster, the mics, the nice digital camera. We can't thank you guys enough for making this happen for us. This makes this whole setup so much friggin' easier. And especially next time we do like lake breakdowns or we're showing off anything where I need to manage like multiple screens, it changes everything. So, again, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay, let's close that. And to the questions. Kyle had the first one. My question is how to catch fish during a late fall time turnover. Turnover is about one of the hardest times to fish. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, that is one of the hardest times to fish. It screws up the whole lake from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. Everything's the same.
We started off the stream with probably the most difficult question that I'm not sure we have an answer for.
Throw your heart out.
Carla,
Throw your...
I love you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for the donation.
Yeah, I love her too. She's my mom. Thank you.
But it's an automated message from the thing, not from her.
Well, then that 5-digit number just got to thank you. Why did mine blow up?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, see, one message cannot be sent. Anyway.
It's my bad.
So what were you about to say about fishing the turnover?
Throw everything. Everything you got. That makes sense in the fall. Hope for the best, really. All the normal areas that you would go in the fall. Jerkbaits, crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, just...
You got to throw the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
dude,
you really do.
Because you never know. Like, we fished every year, we hit a lake that's going through the turnover. And every year it's something different. There is never a clear-cut answer in our experience. That's the most important thing. There might be other anglers out there that know exactly what to do in those instances. we haven't figured out any one consistent bite. We have been consistent in being able to put fish in the boat while doing it, but we literally throw the kitchen sink, man. I mean, we've had days where it's been just jerkbait, and then days where it's just spinnerbait, and then days when it's just jigs. Like, it's been a whole mix between moving or just bottom dragging or fishing middle of the water column super slow. You said it. Throw everything.
You literally got to throw everything. It's one of those like grindy type of times during the season that's just not super easy to catch fish. And finding even big ones then is just like, don't even worry about it. Like, as if you get a few fish on the boat, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, seriously. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to ask maybe something for us to be a little more specific in our elaboration, by all means, go for it. But that's the best we got for you on that one. Adam Butler wanted to ask if either of you have fished the OSP Max Splits DR.
I have not.
This is the other beautiful thing about multiple monitors. I was able to pull that up because I didn't even heard of it. No, we have not.
Negative.
We don't really crank. It's something we tried to focus on this year a little bit more.
I like
we kind of not really.
Kind of went overboard with buying crankbaits, and we just haven't even thrown them. We have probably like 60 of them.
Yeah. I think we probably threw them like 24 different times during the season, but I don't think there was a single day where like we really grinded them out and like, yeah, this is the right condition to throw a crankbait. Let's do it. But I think it wasn't so much that it was a lack of confidence in the crankbait bite going off. It's just that this was by far the best season for fishing a jig for the longest period of time. So it just was really hard to pick up anything else when it was like, okay, well, we're getting numbers and giants on this, so I'm just going to forget anything else in the boat exists and just keep doing this because it was working for like 4 months. Yeah, maybe longer. Dude, that was like middle of April until like 2 weeks ago. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, I went over a little over 5 months of like jig.
Jigs.
So.
And it worked.
However, looking at that, I am intrigued. I would like to add that to the arsenal for next year because I know it's going to come back. That jig bite, I think this year was definitely an outlier. I mean, you can catch them almost all year long on a jig anywhere you go. But like that kind of consistency in both quality and size, I think was an outlier this season.
They got good colors, though.
They do have good colors. I am intrigued.
That one over the right. Sweet.
Ooh, I do like that. David, got out for a few casts today. Got a 4-pound largie. Friday got a new PB smallmouth of 5.2, 21 inches. Dude.
Damn, that's a good one.
That's bigger than my PB, but not yours, you stupid dick.
Dude, I don't know. We literally fish the same way.
Yeah,
Luck of the draw.
I just think I still don't fish slow enough. That's the only thing I can think of. We literally do the same things with the same baits in the exact same spots. Yet I'm the guy that doesn't catch the true giants. I watched in 3 consecutive weekends my buddy TJ catch 2 fish that would have been my PB smallie, and then Nate and then Andrew catching fish that were the exact same size. Either one would have been the second biggest fish in my life. And I'm over here just doing the same goddamn thing over and over. Same way as everybody else. Except for the day fishing with Nate. That came on the glide. I did stick a big glide fish, though, so I'm not going to complain about that.
It was sweet.
It made me feel good. JJ Fishing, nice setup. Teamwork makes the dream work. Damn right, buddy. Thank you very much. I mean, seriously, thank you guys. We couldn't have done this without you. I have not spent a single dime of what you have all sent us on me or on Andrew. It is 100% this. Everything in front of us that you saw in that picture, every single cent, with 0 exception, has gone into this. So, money well spent. How's it going, Nick? Thanks for jumping in, buddy. Kyle said that's been my plan, throw kitchen sink. Good. So I like it. Oh. Want to learn spy baits next year and learn to catch suspended smallmouth.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Go ahead.
I love
jump
spy
right
baits.
into that.
Spy baits, you pretty much just, like, if you're marking fish, you're marking suspended fish, just count it down to wherever they are and just slow roll that thing. And when you're getting closer to the boat, you're going to want to slow down, because if you're coming close, you're cranking, and you got the boat up here. If you stay that same speed, it's just going to come up. You want to keep that bait cranking. As soon as you get to about here, it's going to start coming up. Just slow it down, and it'll stay in the strike zone longer. That extra 10, 15 feet can make the difference. God, I love
They're so much fun.
Spy baits and Okashira screwhead have definitely become probably my 2 favorite ways to catch smallmouth. And God, it's such a fun bite.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to second that. Well, maybe not spy bait, but Okashira, because you can fish it so many different ways. And the whole reason I got into Okashira was because it was essentially a soft body version of spy bait. It literally does the same thing when you're swimming it back, but it has more versatility too. You throw a 3-inch Megabass Spark Shadow in the back, and that thing looks mint. Actually, I saw the video of the new final approved production release of the new swim baits from Beast Coast. Whew! You guys are in for a treat. That thing looks so good.
Better than what they were
Uh-huh.
when we got them?
And they were damn near perfect in my opinion. Like, if he was like, that's what we're doing, like, hell yeah, that's going to be great. And he somehow made it better.
I got hit on it.
He did. We were just swim testing it.
Yeah. That's pretty sick.
So, yeah, it's... I'm not sure what else I can expand on that. You hit it all right on the head. I guess if you were also talking about suspended smallmouth, though, just swimming like a Kitech, like a ball jig, football jig, swim jig head, doesn't matter. Like anything with or without skirts, although I tend to do better without skirts. Depending on how deep you want to fish and how fast you want to fish it should dictate what weight head you throw on it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but I do make sure that whatever the hook size is sensible for the size bait that I'm throwing. Like if I'm throwing a 3.3-inch Kitech or even a 3-inch Kitech, like 3-inch would be the easy shiner, or just the swing impact. 3.3-inch is a swing impact fat. So if it's like a 3 to 3.3-inch, you can get away with like a 2-aught hook on the 3.3. Might be able to get away with a 3-aught, but that's kind of pushing it. If you're throwing a 2.8, a 2-aught hook is kind of pushing it. You need to go to a 1-aught. So just keep that in mind with whatever size head you get. And then you really got to be careful about where you're shopping around, because pretty much 90% of the brands out there, like 1/4 ounce heads, you're only going to find 2-aught and bigger. 3/8 ounce heads, you're only going to find a 3-aught and bigger, and so on and so forth. So you really have to do a lot of shopping around to figure out exactly what it is you need for head size. Style doesn't really matter, I found, when you're swimming it. Just really doesn't seem to matter. It's just about what depth you want to keep it at and how fast you want to keep it while you're working that depth, and just adjust your head size from there. Adam, speaking of jigs, when you focus on finesse jigs, you got the last one first. I'll take this one. Spring, dead of summer, end of the year, like really cold water and really hot water most of the time. That being said, we have fished finesse jigs almost exclusively this year. Like the open water sniper, to me, is technically a finesse jig. If you really want to talk about a true finesse jig, like the Beast Coast Hustler, that is an absolute cold water killer. Like literally from day one that we start fishing, after ice out, I have the Hustler tied on. And I will keep that tied on until the water hits about 50. Maybe 45. Middle of the summer, where they're being really fickle, that's when I'll pull it back out. And just sometimes they want a slower, lighter, smaller presentation. And then right back to that 50 degrees and below, maybe even 55 degrees and below in the fall. There's just some days that they want something teeny tiny. They're not always looking for a meal. More often than not, they are. But yeah, like those are like basically the 3 windows where I'm throwing a finesse jig more often than not.
Nailed it.
There you go. From Dave, what's the best gear ratio for spinner baits now?
I'd say 6'3" to 6'5" to 1.
Bingo. You could go faster, I suppose, if you want, but like, I don't know. I really don't.
It's just a comfortable speed. It's comfortable on the wrist.
Comfortable on the wrist, and you can work it both super slow and super fast. Like, if you want to burn it, you got to work a little hard for it, but if you need to slow down, you can do so and know that you're actually slowing down.
I mean, I'm used to fishing really slow, but also having really high gear ratio reels. So I like having something a little fast. I mean, I'll work like glides and like stuff like that on like a 6'3", because I'm like focusing on like slowing down the reel, like, and still having a little bit of like oomph when I need to actually crank them in. I will run like a 7.3 to 1 on a spinner bait or like a chatterbait.
Chatterbait, I will run the 7.2 to 1 only because that's what my Shimano Corrado is. All of my no, I do have a couple of loose ones that are 7.5 8.5 to 1, but those are all my super duties. All my other lures are like really high speed, 8.2 and higher. Take that back. I have one that's a 7.5 to 1, but that's on my Texas rig / light duty jig rod. But I do have another one, my old Shimano. That I've had that thing for like 12 years now. That one, same deal. I'll run that on my jackhammer, but that's when I'm fishing like early in the year anyway, where I want to be able to pick it up fast and get it up above that shallow vegetation where we seem to do really, really well in the spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, spinnerbait 6.3-ish to 1. Best of both worlds.
Between 6 and 7, you're good.
Yeah. I have tried when I first was really starting to learn how to fish like beyond just the Texas rig. I tried a 5.4 to 1. This is like 15 years ago now, when people are like, oh, dude, if you're going to fish a spinnerbait, you have to be able to work it really slow. So I highly recommend a 5.4 to 1. First high-end reel I ever bought, Shimano Corrado, the old green ones. I think it was the, is it the E?
The what one?
Corrado E, I think. It was the green one. Great reel. I hated it. I hated every second I threw that thing because it was way too slow, and I realized that was stupid. And I traded it for Nabu Garcia. And let me tell you, if you thought me buying a 5.4 to 1 ratio reel was stupid, then realizing I traded that for Nabu Garcia really lets you know how stupid I can be.
He can be pretty dumb.
That was by far, like, bar none, the dumbest decision of my life was making that trade. I hated that reel. I still have it.
Is it a Revo?
I think it's the one you have now, the Screaming Eagle. I'm pretty sure that's the one.
Makes sense. No, that's a Daiwa.
Oh, yeah. No, this one, that other one did the same thing. It ended up blowing up. I threw it out.
Daiwa's been doing it for a while and it hasn't blown up yet, so.
Yeah, not many reels I can do that. It's one of the few. Bob, from previous question, what are the signs of a lake turning over?
It looks like absolute garbage. If it's normally a clear lake, it just looks like it's got a bunch of nasty plant snot floating all over the place.
Turbidity is high. That is all the turbulence and crap floating around inside of everything. The water looks just like garbage, as Andrew said. Sure shit sign. Can't get any more clear than that one. Oh, hey, Dave. Didn't see you jump in there. For everybody else that's jumping in late, again, thank you very much for 1. And 2, drop a like on the stream, please, while you're at it, because that does help more than you know. I can't fish. How you doing, friend? Haven't seen you in a bit.
No.
Except for, Instagram. I see you there all the time. But I want to upgrade the live scope and learn that next season. That is highest on the list of my things to do this winter. I've already got a new battery charger on the boat to a 4-bank, added the 4th battery to the boat. Haven't gone lithium yet. Can't justify the money. Way too much money. And we fish so late in the year, I don't want to deal with battery heater wraps, so I can keep charging my batteries when we're fishing in friggin' December, January, February, March. So, not there yet. But everything else in the boat is prepped. So when the time comes...
We're like at the skill level without it. I think we're ready for it as another tool in the boat.
I agree. And you know what's funny? I know a lot of people think we have live scope. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because they see what we've been doing this year and they just make the assumption. I don't have live scope. I can't wait to get it.
I've seen it twice in my life, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Back to the back of the boat.
It's a Mega 360 to me is just, it's been good enough. Like, dude, the things we can do with Mega 360 is... Go ahead.
It's seriously worth its weight in gold. Like, you're out there looking for structure, and it literally shows you the structure. If you're out there looking for fish, you can sometimes see them. You can see them schooled up on the 360. You can sometimes see them in the rocks. Like, you'll see like the little line in there, like a little white mark in the rock, and you'll see the shadow from the fish on the rock. Live scope will be cool because then you can actually see what they're doing or how they're relating to the bait. But that kind of, we don't tournament fish that often, so it's not like we need to catch those fish. We're not banking on a paycheck every time we go fishing. Like,
truth.
And honestly, it's kind of fun when you don't see them bite it. Like, it's always fun when you don't see them bite it. You're just working that bait, and all of a sudden, oh shit, there's one. And then you try to repeat it, and if you can repeat that bite, then you know what they're doing.
Yep, completely in tune with that feel. Body and just overall presence connection to rod, and just waiting for the subtle difference in that resistance that you're feeling. I don't think that's going to change. We have live scope. Not like overall. I do know that I know that like the first month we have it, we're just gonna be up there giggling like a bunch of little kids. Like, this is the coolest thing. And I look forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Another tool in the boat. Andrew Jeremiah did ask, any tips to making any tips to make walking a frog easier?
Cut one leg or one of the sides shorter than the other, and snap it on a slack line.
Bingo. Couldn't have said it. That's literally it. That's the only difference. And with those skirted legs, you only need to cut the other one like 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch shorter, and that's just enough to help it make it walk a lot better. But yeah, slack line is also the biggest difference maker.
Oh, and yeah, maybe you said that too. Trim legs at different lengths. Oh, and he said
slack line. I can't fish slack line. Trim legs at different lengths. Perfect. James, I see your comment. I'm not answering that. Dean, how you doing, buddy? I fished my first tournament Saturday at the Brownie Factory. It's a benefit tournament. I was a co-angler. It was fun. But what a tough day. We only put 3 fish in the boat. I tell you, there's a reason why I don't fish that lake this time of the year. It is by far the most difficult smallmouth fishery I've ever fished in my life in the fall.
Oh, it's tough.
Despite the fact of like how many days I've put in there, how many days my friends put in there, how many days Andrew and I have put in there together, we still cannot figure out what the hell to do there. And I think there is no answer because I've never seen as much bait fish stacked like I have on that lake in the fall. The last time I went there, I finally came across one of the schools. And after that, I saw him several times. And it was like the 3rd or 4th trip. I was like, nope, I think this is the reason and I'm never going to beat this. But I ran into a school of smelt that was stacked 35 feet high and it spread for a good 100 feet. That's insane.
There's too much bait. You're not going to catch shit.
Yeah, no, like how can
Unless
you compete with that?
You literally have the exact same size, same profile, same color, same everything, same movement as the rest of the school. Those fish are just tuned in on that school of bait, and that's what they're going to eat.
Yep.
Unless you throw like that new Gancraft glide through it, and then they're just going to be like, what the hell is that thing?
Little fish. Oh,
big fish.
That's a meal.
Bigger than me. I want to bite it.
Evan did ask, how are you fishing the hustler jig in colder water?
Slow.
Damn right.
Very slow. Cast that thing out, let it sink to the bottom. Do not touch it. And just have enough tension on it till where you feel it. And how cold are we talking?
I'm going to say from ice out to low 40 degrees. Because that window, that bite's fairly consistent for how we're fishing it.
Yeah, slow. And drag it. Don't pop it. Drag
Keep it on the bottom. Mm-hmm. That I was going to say. I was waiting to see if you're going to say that. Yeah, that's on the bottom. It never gets off the bottom. You are going as slow as you absolutely need to make sure that thing stays on the damn bottom. Now, you can like shimmy it. And I do that a lot where I just basically bounce go semi-slack line and just try and bounce from there. So if it's moving, that's okay. But I try and make it do like that while it's on the bottom. You're just kind of shaking. You're almost basically like rocking it because it's, almost got like curve between line tied to head coming up the hook shank, and it almost like rocking horse style, I guess is the best way to put it, where you're trying to rock it across the whole length of the jig as you're shimmying, dragging it towards you. That's the only action I put in the thing. And yeah, dude, like that's it. Like, there's no real magic to what we do. It's patience. When you're fishing a jig in that really cold water, you're going to have to go 30 to 60 seconds in between movements. And that's not an exaggeration. Mm-hmm. Like if you're fishing in sub 40 degree water and you're not letting that bait sit at least 20 seconds, I mean, that to me is like bare minimum in between movements. You're probably not going to get bit. Dan. Hey, Fred. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking
about jerkbaits.
True. Jerkbaits can go a little faster. But yeah, jig, you're talking sub 40 degree water, like 30 plus seconds is where you should be keeping your head focused.
Are you talking about jerkbaits? Yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds.
I'm not that far yet. Stop jumping.
I'm sorry. I just saw it and I had to talk.
Hey, Dan. Season's winding down. What do you feel is optimal water temps and depth for blade baits? And what is your recommended blades? I know you hate blades, so I'll take this one.
Go for it.
You know what? I have heard from way too many people that, like, even right now, with the water temps at 60, but most importantly, falling, now is a good time to do it. I, however, do not feel confident in doing that. I wait until the water is, like, upper 40s before I really, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's blade bait time. And then you can fish that all the way down. I mean, ideally, I would say low 50s is the earliest I would really start to consider it now with confidence. And I'll fish that right until ice out. And the only thing I'm going to do is continue to slow down both the number of times I move it. I'm going to extend my pauses. I'm going to slow down my movements a lot more. And I'm going to make my cast a little bit further. I'm not always going to try and drop straight on their head, because half the time when you're talking, especially like below 40 degrees, you're not even going to see them. They're going to be like belly scraping the bottom, even if they're, they might not even be moving. They're just going to be hanging out waiting for a meal to come to them. As far as recommended blades go, I've used a whole host of them. The Binsky is by far my favorite. Chrome and gold. If you only had to pick one blade bait with two colors, I mean, really even one color, chrome. But on cloudy days, I like throwing gold. That's it. 1/2 ounce, Binsky, chrome, and gold. All you need. And we'll say low 50s and colder. That's it. And it works really, really well. Except for last year, for some reason, we threw the hell out of a blade. At one time, I had three different blades tied on.
I actually did throw a blade last year, too, and I didn't like it.
No.
So I did something.
That's the first year I got skunked on the blade. I mean, I've been out there early, like all winter, in the early spring, and I've done really well. And honestly, as stupid as it sounds, because it's a stamped piece of metal, right? Like there's no, there's profile, but there's no body to it. And even with that stupid thing laying down flat outside, you can let it sit there for 30 to 90 seconds, and the smallmouth will eventually eat that stupid little stamped piece of metal laying on its side, doing nothing. And they'll just sit there like, that sure does look like the thing I should eat. So, looks a little messed up, but okay. It's the strangest thing, but it works, man. I've really had that point hammered home. We were fishing that place that we caught all the skinny smallies. We've caught one over 3 pounds, not too far from here. We caught those super skinny Lakers.
Oh yeah.
We had that good day with the jerkbait on Mother's Day.
That was Mother's Day. Whoops.
Yeah, well, it was it was a horrible weather day. My wife was like, "I don't want to do anything. Go fishing." Okay, but I threw out my blade bait, probably honestly 150 foot plus cast, and I turned around to talk to Andrew, and I throw a blade to a fluorocarbon leader, and I felt like the slightest little thump. I was like, no, and because I had let him been sitting there for about 30 seconds, and all of a sudden, okay, awesome.
That worked. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, where the big rock is. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. Brian, do you ever fish a swivel head paired with a swim bait for fall smallmouth? I was going to try one with a 4.8-inch Kitech and a 5.0 Mustad finesse grip pin edge hook exposed. Wow, swivel head. So, yes, but not that big. Swing head. You call it swivel head. I was thinking like an actual swivel. Swing heads. Yeah, I fish them. I don't typically throw swim baits. I throw other things. I don't want to answer this.
I'm sorry.
Because it's... Yes. There's a reason why I don't want to elaborate right now. We'll have to talk offline. By all means, ask me the question offline. There's a reason I'm not going to talk about this right now.
I'll say one thing about it. I would never throw a 5/0 hook for a smallmouth.
No. Honestly, could it work? Yes.
It could.
But... that's too big for my personal experience to get to downsize that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hey, South Jersey. Oh, I had an amazing day fishing today. Caught a 3.65 pounder off a Raid GI crank down at Megabass Vibration. Also caught a couple off the Megabass Sleeper Grill. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome.
Sick.
Luke, live scope can hurt when you first get it. Dude, everybody has told me that. I am trying to do my best to remember that so it's not a pitfall for us.
I've literally seen it in person. TJ was sitting there staring at it, and I caught a 4.5 pound largie underneath his boat in 50 feet of water.
That guy waxed us every time we went there until that day. And then we waxed him. And he even said at the end of the day, he was like, I spent way too long staring at my screen because they were just behind my bait all day. And I thought there was some little thing that I needed to do to make them commit instead of just fishing. And going through my repetitions, just going through the motions of what I would normally do to catch fish. I got locked into that because it's mesmerizing. That is by far the best lesson I have heard from anybody about how easy you can get locked in on that, and I'm not going to make that mistake. That said, I told myself the first day I get it, I'm going to lose myself in it. Like intentionally, I'm just going to go out and play with it until I get everything nailed down. Take one whole day just to screw with that one thing. Mm-hmm. Get it figured out, have my fun, and then just do everything we do anyway. Who else we got? Yeah, there you go, Dave. Speaking on that topic, if you have that much success on 360, wait until you use live scope in perspective mode.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry about your ears, everybody. I just...
Clunk. Wait a minute. There you go. I muted his mic. There. No blowing out eardrums.
Okay, we're good now.
That's when you need live scope. You'll never graph them when they're on smelt. Yeah, I know it's going to help for instances like that. That's for damn sure. Oh boy. Guggen Slayer, hey friend. Trophies busting in open water since August at Candlewood, but they don't bite. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Chris, I'm a big spinnerbait guy, and after hearing Sean talk about jerkbaits, I'm making some small investment in them. So what's the best advice you can give to someone just starting out with jerkbaits? Have at it.
Fish the absolute bejesus out of them and learn them. You got to learn the bait. I can tell you how to do it, but you actually have to go out and do it. You got to long bombing casts, jerk it until you feel like they're going to bite. Especially right now, you can work it a lot faster. It's easier to catch them right now than it is dead of summer on jerkbait. So just go out there, dude, I don't know, 6-7 jerks, pause, 6-7 jerks, pause, and just keep working it. Maybe drop the number of jerks that you do. Maybe make the pause a little longer. Anywhere from, I'd say, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds right now would be a good pause. Maybe you can give a little longer, maybe a little shorter. If they're really busting, you're marking fish going all crazy, you should be able to work it a little faster.
I have nothing to add to this. Whatever he said, please listen. I mean, I love jerkbaits. Not as much as I do love everything else, but I've had enough good days on it. I do love them. And I fish them, but...
I told you how I really feel about them the other day.
Yeah, out of the blue, all of a sudden change your mind.
It's been in the back of my mind.
There's nothing I can say to elaborate on what he said. He's good with them. So you listen when he speaks about jerkbaits. James, what you know about hover strolling? So first I've heard of this. I pulled it up on the other screen. That again, first time I've ever heard of it. That looks awesome. And yeah, I need to try that.
What the hell? Wait, go down.
I went down. I was the wrong screen. I'm sorry. Did you read it?
No.
All right. It's a super. So I'm reading a post from Mike Iaconelli. He posted it June of 2021, actually. It's a rigging method. Use any kind of minnow. He's using a max scent, flat nose minnow. Kind of looks like a fluke, to be honest. VMC 90-degree hook and a small nail weight in the nose causes the bait to spiral in the fall and have a very natural horizontal stance. So honestly, that's a cross between a Damiki and a tube. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
I can see where that would be extremely beneficial.
If you want to catch lake trout.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
JJ, trying to dial in my jig trailers. Are we switching to flapping style jig trailers yet, or rage craw action still? Baby Swimbait trailers. Yes.
Yes.
Literally everything.
Yes and yes. 100%.
It's still warm enough. I don't know. Like I don't.
Action. You want action.
Mm-hmm.
On the fall.
Big time. I mean, let me put it this way. I can still make a spider jig kill it in even like upper 30-degree water. Granted, the bite's a lot slower, but it still does work exceptionally well. And a twin-tail hula grub on the fall has a lot of action, but then it becomes very compact when it hits the bottom because the legs curl back in. So you can still get away with fishing something that has a lot of action right now. I feel in the fall, that window for fishing a more violent action, a more aggressive action trailer is a lot wider and goes into much colder water for a longer period than it does in the spring when you come out of ice out and they're just trying to warm up. I don't know. There's something different about it. The bass, like they kind of warm up fast, but it feels like everything that they want to eat doesn't. Like it takes the crawfish a long time to all of a sudden to kind of like be more aggressive, I guess is a lack of a better way to put it. At least that's kind of my feelings on the matter, because more dead action trailers do way better until you get to like mid to upper 40s. more often than not. It is not like an end-all, be-all rule. It's just absolute majority of the time. Vice versa in the fall. You can stay with a much more aggressive trailer much later into the season. Swimbait trailers, like from the middle of the summer till ice in, absolutely kill it. Sometimes. I don't even say most of the time. So that's one of those you can almost never go wrong with a swimbait trailer, regardless of how you're presenting it. Anything else?
Nah.
Okay. Dan, very cool. Honestly, I didn't know the blade that you preferred, but I just put another order in for Binsky's, and that's my favorite too. Move pretty well, and all you need is a gold, chrome, and perch. Yes. So I do have the perch. Please let me know when your Binsky's come in, because I'm going to be probably buying like 30 of them from you, because we go through a lot in the winter. And again, they're my favorite for a reason. And I was actually just looking at my Blade Bait box the other day. I am down to 1 gold and I think 2 or 3 of my chrome. I need more stat. So you let me know when they're in, please. And I got to make a drive down there, actually buy some. Blade, check out Fish Sense Lure. I've heard of that. Binsky, made by a Jersey guy. Yep. Fish Sense is the other one that I like. I have used those. Let's see here. TV18. New Mega Live on my boat with Mega 360 changes everything. Killed it on Brownie Factory in Vermont and Lake Champlain and New Hampshire. I like it. Nice job, Ben. Adam Wood. Key to Live Scope is use it for ice fishing first to learn about it and see how fish look and react to a bait. Yeah, but I don't like ice fishing that much. I do and I don't. I don't know. I'm having more fun with it now. My kids are into it, but
I honestly just like the little striker that I have.
Dude, the thing's mint.
That's all I need.
Where is mine? It's over there somewhere. Who else I see you pop in the chat? T-Money. Hey, friend. Glad you could join us. What does South Jersey say about hover strolling? It says works. I've been using it for a while now. Also, Gamakatsu makes a weight hook for hover strolling called the Horizon Head. Interesting.
I know what you're thinking.
We'll talk about that later. Moving on. James, Wigglewort or RCK Crawler? Do you mean Rock Crawler? Wigglewort.
I have 3 of those sitting on my nightstand.
Do you really? Yeah. Keep the questions coming. We actually just got caught up here really fast. South Jersey, the DRT VTS 5s are a great bait for hover strolling in the depths. Hang on. Sakamatoshads? Sakamatoshads. No, never mind. Not going to do it.
I know you're trying to do that.
Yep. James, how much better is Lake B over Candlewood in winter? Didn't say name for a reason. First off, thank you very much. I don't know, man. I wouldn't really say it's better. I'd go to either one of those in a heartbeat. I mean, Jesus Christ, we do. Between those two, and Champlain is going to be in the rotation this winter too. Like, you're going to get numbers and quality at any of them. There's actually another lake I have on my radar that we've talked about a few times. We're supposed to go there with TJ. We're going to tag team the lake because he's going to be out there with his live scope.
Oh, is this that one that we're looking at that gets crazy deep?
Yep, way up there.
Oh.
Honestly, it's the same drive time as some of the other places we go to. It's just a different kind of drive.
Yeah.
We're on the highway for a long while, so I think it sucks. So, but it'll be good. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're both just as good. Trying to think. Yeah, no, I'd say they're pretty even Stevens. Yeah, Binsky, Grant, I think you're right. I think Binsky is made by Fish Sense. Hey, G Hayes, what's up? Oh, here we go. Tom, thoughts on throwing an A-train rig this time of the year in Mass? Do you mean A-rig? Yep, A-rig. Yeah. Just make sure, for the love of God, you guys check each state's laws on this.
What is Mass's law?
I think Mass might be the same as Vermont, where you can have 5 arms with only 2 real hooks. Or maybe there's this. Why am I asking when I can look it up? Massachusetts. It helps if you spell it right too.
That's not how you spell it.
Rig. Alabama rigs laws by state from hooked in fishing.
Illegal?
States with 2 hook limit: Massachusetts and Vermont. Okay. So I'm interpreting this as you can have a full 5-arm rig, but only 2 real hooks. Then states with the 3 hook limit. For this area, we're looking at Rhode Island.
And Wyoming.
States with a 5 hook or no limit. Anything in the area? New York, yep. Connecticut, I knew that.
Pennsylvania, if you're down there.
So Massachusetts, Alabama rig laws. Oh, look at that. They actually have the actual law. Wait. Come on. What? I don't want to read the whole damn law. Just here, hang on. Control F, nope. Umbrella. Really? How about rig? Nope, not that one. Yep, nope. Come on. Nope. Okay, no, I have no idea if you can use 5 arms or not. Judging by this post, I would say 5 arms with 2 real hooks, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you can do that, like, I won't do what New Hampshire does. You're only allowed a 3
arm with 1 hook.
Well, yeah. What the hell's the point? Just
But
really
at the
shoot
same
yourself
time,
in
I've
the
never
foot.
seen it, so.
Yeah, I mean, then there's that. Grat, thoughts on shallow water Carolina rigging? I know it's a Flintstone technique, but always wanted to try.
How shallow?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right, it doesn't really matter at all. Just do it.
4+ feet. I'm throwing it, and we've done really well. We had a day on Lake Champlain last year where we were fishing in like 4 to 8 feet in the early September, and we absolutely crushed smallmouth for like 4 hours.
That was absolutely insane.
I think it was like your first day really throwing the Carolina rig, wasn't it?
No. But it was my first day on Champlain.
Okay. I couldn't remember there was like if it was just that or something specific to the Carolina rig. But I was like, I'm gonna throw this. It's gonna be great. Well, we were like 10 minutes into the day, and I caught my 4-pounder of the first fish, and I had 2 more heavy 3s, and you're like, give me my goddamn Carolina rig. And then we proceeded to crush them for a few hours. Dude, it's awesome. Highly recommend it.
We did that, and then we went and punched mats for like 8 hours.
Oh my god, dude, my shoulder's still sore thinking about that day. It was so much fun.
I had a broken wrist.
Yeah.
Caught like 80 fish in like 4 hours. Ugh.
Oh, there we go. Dan, thank you for someone else may have saw it, but there it is. Mass, 5 baits on an A-rig, 2 hooks allowed. Perfect.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. But yeah, going back to Grat, yes, Carolina rig, it might be a little Flintstone-y compared to like what most people throw right now, but still just as effective as it was all those years ago. Still, I still throw it every single year. T-Money, thanks, man. Appreciate it. If I missed you, sorry, but thank you for stopping in. Have a good night, friend. So it's a 1 hook state here. Yeah, it sucks. Oh, James, there's a Lake W in Connecticut that y'all got to stop by. I'm curious. I think I might know that lake. Hit me up. Private message on something. We'll talk. If you don't want to share it too, by all means, you don't have to. But I wonder. I'm curious. JJ Fishing, second that for Lake W. I get a good feeling I know which one this is. You and I talked about it. You told me about it.
I did?
Yep. In the meantime,
I have the worst memory.
Wait. MD, love that my mid-sized jerkbaits are illegal in Mass? Elaborate.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Who is... I gotta remember to follow up on that. Maps. I'm trying to find that lake while I wait for him to elaborate.
3 hooks on 1 bait. Oh, like triple trouble.
Yeah, but I thought treble hook baits were excluded from that.
Just like lead free in New Hampshire, but you can still throw a lead spinnerbait.
No, it wasn't that one. Is this one? I know it's somewhere over here.
With a blade bait.
You told me about it. I gotta find it.
Something?
It was east of there. You had told me about it. It was somewhere down there. For the life of me, I can't remember which one it was, but I just know that was a general area. Brian, I don't want to sound like a shithead, but how do I catch a bass with a blade bait? Not a shithead question by any means. It's a weird bait, right? Like, it's just a stamped piece of frickin' metal. Like, what are you supposed to do with it? So depending upon what model you get, though, I think the vast majority of them tend to have at least 2, 3, or more holes in the top. Depending upon where you rig your snap swivel in that will change just how much it vibrates.
That one?
That's the one. So the closer you are to the front or the nose of the bait, the tighter the vibration, which is typically, it's gone both ways. So I'm not going to say what time of the year because it kind of doesn't matter. You got to go by the feel of the fish, and yeah, there's a bunch of factors in it. But at any rate, you can either, the closer to the nose you get, the tighter the wobble on the bait. The further back you are, the wider the wobble on the bait. So depending upon what it is that you're trying to do with it, how much action you want on it, you can use that to just adjust what you're doing. And by far the most common or effective method for a blade bait is wait for a fish to go by underneath your boat. You've marked them on your graph, drop it straight down right past them. And then it's a moderate snap of the wrist, just kind of, and you follow the bait back down. You're going to lift up about a half foot to a foot. You're going to feel, and then follow it down and repeat. And you work in anywhere from like a 3 to 15 second pause in the middle of that when the water temp's like 45-ish degrees. The colder it gets, the slower you go. That's one way. The other way, long casts. And this is where what blade bait you get. I actually did a video on this. If you go back on the channel, you just search if you go on YouTube, search 603 bass blade bait, you'll find the video. Depending upon what style blade bait you get, there's like the Binsky, which is a very tall, broad body, and then there's other ones like the Bass Pro versions, which are longer and slender. Those longer, slender ones, I don't like for long casts because the treble hooks can very easily wrap up over the body. It makes it really difficult to get a clean cast in. But the Binsky, or anything like that style, where it's a very broad, back and belly size, the hooks can't wrap around, so you usually get a clean cast on it. With those, bomb them out, and it's more like a sweep of the rod. So you're still getting a vibration out of it. You are lifting up off the bottom, but it's only going up a couple inches versus like a half a foot to a foot or higher. Sometimes maybe you might be able to keep it like a couple of inches max off the bottom, maybe even an inch. And just that, you're just kind of like, and you're sweeping it anywhere from like a half a foot to maybe upwards of 2 feet at a time. But you can cover a lot more water while keeping it at the bottom. And just for the love of God, always keep a semi-slack line when doing that. The number of bites you'll get, as soon as you drop it on the bottom, if you have a slack line, you're going to miss it. And that's it. Like between those two techniques, that should be all you need. Chrome for sunny days, gold for cloudy days, perch you should be able to work in at any point. Like that's my general rule of thumb. It is not an end-all, be-all rule of thumb. Plenty of days I've caught them just on chrome on cloudy days and just on gold on sunny days. It really depends on what they prefer. If I'm blade baiting, I have all three of those tied on all at the same time till I figure out which one they prefer. Let's see here. Ha! JJ rhymes with...
Kinda.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's funny. That's literally the like, yeah, I knew. How did that...
I don't know.
You told me about this like 3 years ago. I forget who you were talking to. How the hell do I remember these things?
I don't know. I didn't remember I even told you about it. I don't even know how the hell I just found it.
I couldn't remember the exact location. I just knew like the general area it was in relation to the other town that I know really well. And I was like, we've talked about this. I know where this is. And that's all I can remember was just like W. Thank you. Okay, here we go. G. Hayes. I want to start jig fishing. What is the best jig you recommend to start with this time of the year? I'm in Connecticut. You start that. I'm getting water.
Beast Coast open water sniper in anywhere from or
Maxfield football.
Oh yeah, the Maxfield football. I like throwing it in 1/2 ounce or 3/8 depending on how deep I am, or if there is a lot of like grass down the bottom, I'll throw a 3/8 so it kind of sits on top, doesn't just punch straight down through. And right now, probably darker color the better. Like their dirtbag color is money right now this time of year. Or either the dirtbag or the dirty perch. Or is it dirty perch? No, that's a different bait color. What the hell is it called? what is that called? What are you called? Stealth craw? I think it's stealth craw, I believe. I think 3 hooks. 1 bait is considered a set of hooks, so it's okay. At least that's how it is in Maryland. Saw you guys landing some nice fish off swim baits this week. How were you working them? I've been slow cranking, doing stop and retrieves with the crankbaits. I don't know. Do you want to answer that?
Should we jump questions?
No, I don't think so. No.
You still talking about jig fishing?
No, I said those 2 jigs in a darker color. And that's pretty much, right now, that's what we would be throwing.
Yep. Okay. Yes, what he said.
With the trailer with a lot of action.
Yes. Striking rage craw, beast goes flip and delay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or
there's so many others you could use, but those 2 have been all we've been using.
Those 2 are like a 2.8 inch or 3 inch Kitech or anything like that.
Yep.
Into some sort of swim bait.
And you don't have to make the colors match either. Like, we've been having really good success with like really offsetting colors, which is kind of funny because for years I've only ever fished jigs and trailers that were the like same color the whole way through. In the last 2 years, I've really gone out of my way to mix and match, and especially this year. Oddly enough, this has been my best year so far for quality fish. So there's something to that. James, no, I have not heard of that lake. South Jersey.
I don't know if we should answer that
I think
because
3
that
hooks on
might...
1 bait is considered. Oh, okay, sorry. What? South Jersey's. So nice fish out the swim baits this week. How are you working them? It's slow cranking, doing stop and go retrieves on crankdowns. If you want to talk offline, I will happily do that. But what we found is going to be really key for our tournament, so I don't want to discuss that. Not until after the tournament. So if you want to talk offline, I'm happy to do that. Or we can talk about it next week.
Over 60 feet.
Deep. JP, those Bass Pro blade baits are great for vertical fishing. Yep, 100%. That's why I have a ton of them. And they're cheap too. So like I don't mind losing them in the rocks, which I tend to do tons of. Adam, I hate Carolina rigs. Is there an application from the Northeast?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All
dude.
the time.
Open water, over rocks, kind of over rocks. Dude, through thick vegetation. Like you can power fish a rage craw with like an 18 to 24 inch like tag and a 3/4 ounce weight on a Carolina rig through some thick vegetation. Mm-hmm. And it works exceptionally well. Just dragging open water with like a 10-inch ribbon tail worm is one of my absolute favorite ways to catch big largemouth offshore in the dead of summer. Ooh, I still have some left. Looking. MD, green pumpkin with an orange trailer has been killer for me this year. Oddly enough,
That's funny.
we have done dog shit on orange this year.
Usually that's like when the fall hits, it's usually green pumpkin or orange. And that's like what the crayfish are doing. That's like they're molting. And that color combination just kills it for us. This year,
Can't get bit on it. And it's the weirdest thing because we're catching fish. And yeah, we box some of our fish, although we haven't really done it much since like this spring. Because it got too hot. And I'm not going to screw around with them when it's that hot out. But there's plenty of times we box fish. And it's not just for the pictures. It's to see what they're coughing up. Like that intel is worth its weight in gold. You ride around the fish for an hour, you'd be amazed how much crap it ends up spitting up in your live well. And you get an idea is exactly what they're eating, what colors they are. That's the benefit of boxing a fish or two. So we've been, since like the middle of the summer, is usually when orange starts to work well for me. And the degree or the amount of orange that it has in the trailer or the jig itself matters greatly. And that will change from like, we'll say sometime in July all the way through until right about this time of the year, like getting closer to November. I don't get it, man. We've been pulling out crawfish from the live well all summer with orange in it and to varying degrees. And we've tried orange almost every single trip. We have not caught a single fish on anything with orange on it, regardless of how much orange there is. I don't get it. Last 3 years, that was like, you couldn't wait for it.
I caught 2 dinks this past weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Those are the first 2.
That might have just been like coincidence.
Yep.
But
like last 3 years, it was clockwork. You go out there like all green pumpkin or all black and blue. Didn't matter. And it'd be lights out in that color. Like 3, 4, 5 straight weeks. Then we go out. All the conditions are the same. We're like, hell yeah, we're going to still crack them on a jig. Nothing. for the first hour. Just try the orange. Boom. First, second, third cast, whatever it is. And the first handful of casts start cracking fish. And it's because of that orange. This year was the exception. Very, very strange year. Dana Dane. Is 6 cents flow glider any good? I cannot answer that. I've not used that. Hopefully someone else here has and they can answer you. I don't know.
Never thrown that either.
King Baits. Hey guys, just got 74 bass today. Damn. Worth stripers as well. Also, do you ever use stealth jelly with a June bug trailer? Stealth jelly I have not used yet. June bug. I just avoid like the plague. I don't know why. Used to fish it a lot when I
threw a little bit this summer when I would go fish the canal, but not really. No.
Last time I threw June bug was 18 years ago. I had to think about it, but I know the exact year. It was
and the date and the time that he threw it, and how many times he broke off, and how many fish he caught, and how many he lost.
June and July 2004. I was working for a family friend for a landscaping company.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I was doing construction work for them. So we were building there was a lake house and we were building stone walls and stone patios. Beautiful house. We still go there, and I every time I pull up, I'm sure I probably told Andrew the story every time we've gone there, but I was proud to be part of that project because it came out beautiful, and it still looks beautiful to this day, 18 years later.
Where is it?
We went there with Keith. We had the dance party in your boat, and then you had the mishap with your boat and the trailer ride home. It's like 2 in the morning.
Oh. Yeah, my boat motor got shaved down a little bit.
just a bit. It was a big bump.
Thanks, DOT.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was that point because that was like I was just a green pumpkin guy forever, and I was at the store, and it was when like the gulp minnows and all that crap, the gulp lizards, the gulp worms. They all came out. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try that. June bug, that looks like a cool color. Never got bit on it. I was like, nope, done. Never again. South Jersey. Orange or red isn't working for me neither. Was using a red spinner, the copper blades, and nothing. It was pretty surprising because you usually get smacked. We're going to really rethink a lot of the colors we use this year. And going darker, surprisingly, has been the way to go, regardless of conditions.
I mean, we got a drought. We're in a drought. We're in a drought. I don't know. I'm guessing we still are.
We still are, just not as severe as it was.
Water's going up and down, and then really far down. So they're going to change what they want.
Yep. Bob, what is your rod and reel and line to fish the Binsky? 10-pound braid to 10-pound leader until it gets like end of the year. We're fishing in below freezing air temps, or at least especially with the wind chill below freezing. Braid is a nightmare to deal with when it's frozen, man. You can't cast. You can cast, kinda. Like, you'll lose 30 to 50 feet in your casting distance. Vertical dropping, forget it. Unless you're throwing like 3/4 ounce or heavier, it just gets stuck and you're sitting there trying to pull out frozen braid. So at that point, I'll just tie on like
30 to 40 foot leader.
No, I'll tie on like 200 feet of like just straight 12-pound fluoro because I can't deal with the freezing. And then also because if it's just below freezing with the wind and air temps, then you end up getting ice built up on your guides. And I don't care what lead or not you throw, it's still going to get hung up. Between your braid slightly being frozen and then the ice buildup, it's a nightmare. You can mitigate that by putting like smelly jelly for your scents.
Vaseline or chapstick or anything like that on your guides.
Smear it on your fingers and then smear every single guide. You usually don't have to do like the first stripper guide and then the second one after that. But everything above that, yeah, you got to smear a bunch of Vaseline on there, something, to help the water shed off. And oh my God, does it make a huge difference. So there's that. But yeah, like straight 10 to 10, unless it's really cold. Sometimes they'll do 10. I like throwing 12 just because like they don't seem to care. So either one, you're good to go. Tom, over the summer I was doing well first thing in the morning. This time of the year I keep getting skunked. It's the only time I can get on the water. Any insight? Have you changed what you're doing? What are you doing first thing in the morning? I can tell you this has been about the worst year I've had for topwater. And that's usually like automatic first thing in the morning. Change up your, like how deep are you fishing? Usually at night, man, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Sometimes they pull out way deep. Sometimes they pull up onto the friggin' bank. You got to be willing to fish both ends of that spectrum all summer long, and especially going into this time of the year. You just never know where they're going to be. It becomes a lot less automatic.
Jerry, you made it.
Freezing. Haha, we don't know that. Screw you, Jerry.
You did.
Yeah, that's why he's not here anymore. He's like, F that.
I hope your house doesn't have water damage or anything like that.
Yeah, how'd you make out from the end of that? I know, like, at one point, last I saw, you were like, yeah, it's not too bad. Then it was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of bad.
Yeah, my sister was on the East Coast, and they got slammed pretty good. But I think they were fine. I don't think they had the water come up too high. Well, up to their house at least.
Yep.
Which is good.
Oh, that's my phone. I thought
I was still playing with you. I was texting people.
Oh,
Just
Dean.
kidding.
It's a tadpole. Oops. Yeah. Dean, if you're still listening, it's a little tadpole. That's what it looks like to me. Neat. So anyway, that's best I can tell you, man. MD, line to leader thoughts, what applications?
For what?
For anything.
Line to leader thoughts? What applications? Drop shot? Well, really anything like finesse that you're going to use a spinning rod with.
Yep. Always.
Drop shots, finesse jigs, blade baits, Okashira, Damiki. Some people throw jigs, swim baits. Literally anything that you want a lot of sensitivity with, throw braid to leader.
Yeah. I mean,
Or what Oliver said about the swim baits. If he wants them to stay up a little higher in the water column,
yep.
throw braid to leader. If you want to go down a little deeper, throw straight floral.
There really is no right or wrong answer to it.
If you wanna-
It's all preference.
Right.
Like, I know guys that refuse to fish jigs unless it's braid to leader. I can't do it. The way what I'm comfortable with, how I cast, how I have all my stuff set up, I'm much happier throwing straight floral because I have a wider window of margin of error with potential backlashes. And that's how I can get like 200-foot casts almost every single time with even a half-ounce jig. Mm-hmm. And I have multiple people who can vouch for that. A lot of people talk in yards when they're talking about casting. They're wrong. You're talking about feet. If you can cast 200 feet, that's a hell of a cast. The exceptions being like giant swim bait guys that have their shit dialed.
Yeah.
Those guys talk in yards. But yeah, your traditional tackle, if you're getting 150 plus feet and even the 200-foot range, like you've got whatever it is you're throwing dialed in really, really well. I can hit that with fluoro. Straight 15-pound fluoro and a half-ounce, like literally a sniper jig with a 2.8-inch Kitech. 175 to 200 feet is my average cast with that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, I have that dialed.
Yeah, our jig casts are kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's funny because I was fishing with Nate, and he's just a swim bait guy. He was the guy I was with. He caught that giant, the 610, the weekend before Andrew caught his 610 on that glide. And I busted out my jig and said, and he's just like, what the? How? It's dialed. I don't know what to tell you. It's not only dialed, I just have a very intimate connection with this rod and this reel.
Like,
just everything is perfect.
Like, just flick a wrist, and they're gone.
Yep.
Like, we fish jigs so much. It's
God
part of us.
Yeah. God forbid I'm casting to open water area too, where I have a little tailwind to help me out too. I'm pretty sure I've hit 250 feet.
Oh yeah.
Just with a half-ounce jig.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there's that. There is really no long answer for leader to line. Main line to leader, specifically braid to fluorocarbon. It's all in personal preference. If I'm fishing anything on a spinning rod, it's braid to leader without question every time. It just helps with sensitivity, hook sets, casting distance, the whole 9 yards. James, how was your experience at Canwood Fishing Camp? Overall, pretty damn good. I got no complaints. Kids were good. Jed was a good guy. It was nice to work with. Communication was good. It was just a fun experience. The kids, that camp was definitely a little different from what we thought it was going to be, but not necessarily in a bad way.
No.
It's just after we got there, we realized it's a fishing camp, but it's not a fishing camp.
It's a fishing camp in the morning, fishing camp at night, but during the day they kind of just get to hang out and do what they want. eat and stuff like that. And then in the morning, we get them first thing in the morning till what, noon?
7:30 to 12:30, and then again from 5:30 to 8:30.
Right.
Is what it ended up being.
Yep.
And it was fun. But like, every kid we had in our boat was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They talked some serious shit to each other, and it was the funniest thing. Like, I couldn't even speak half the time we were in the boat because I was just laughing so hard with these kids.
I was so stoked when that kid caught his pike. He wanted to catch a pike so bad. I was like, and he had this big inline spinner, like this big with a huge, like, I don't even know what blade it was. It was just a big blade. I was like, throw that.
Yep.
And it was white. I don't know, maybe 15 minutes later, he had a pike on.
Yep.
And he was so happy.
I think so. That is the 1A for my favorite moment of that whole weekend. To the 1B, which was there's that kid Pickle.
Oh yeah.
And who was the other kid? The blonde kid. I can't remember his name. We had him in the boat the whole time. Like every trip, he wanted to be in our boat. It was fun to have him on there. And he was just a rowdy kid.
Is that the one that was talking a lot?
Oh yeah.
He was wicked funny.
Oh yeah. And Pickle hooks into his first bass that like in the session that we had him. He's reeling it in, and the other kid, just out of excitement or whatever, he casts right on top of him. And their lines get tangled, and he knocks the fish off, and they're like sitting there bantering back and forth while we're sitting there just like looking at each other, look at them, look at each other, look at them. And the fish gets knocked off, and Pickle just stands up, looks at me, and goes, "What are you doing, you peasant?"
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So
Dude, I almost shot that boat. I was laughing so hard. I did not anticipate
kids
that.
are funny. Kids are funny.
It's one of the highlights of the whole trip.
What are you doing, you peasant? Dude.
Oh my god! It was the body language. Like he went like stiff as a board, turned. It was like military drill instructor in his
Just
face.
knife
Like,
hand.
what are you doing?
What are
you
you doing,
peasant?
peasant? Oh, it was good.
Oh my god! So yeah, all in all, good experience. Would love to do it again. Jerry did say we all good. Good, Jerry. I'm happy to hear that. Jerry, here's a few companies that make awesome glides: Tato, Black Dog Baits, Scottsboro Tackle. So Black Dog I've heard of. The other two I have not. We talked about this last week. For anybody that's really interested to hear about more about glides, we had Oliver Nye from Big Bass Dreams on last week. We talked literally nothing but glides. Bait Sanity makes some good ones. The antidotes are cheap and they work really, really well for their price, like exceptionally well. Then they get the Explorer, which is another phenomenal glide. Just talking about stuff from like, I guess more like mass produced, like not going down the whole like garage builder realm. Go ahead. Storm makes a good one. I've heard some things about the Sixth Sense, but like not enough that I can even speak to it. But certainly it's something worth asking for in like other fishing groups that they might know better about that. Trying to think other garage ones that would be good. There's quite a few out there. Like you'd be surprised. There's a lot out there. So it's kind of hard to find one that doesn't work well. Real quick, just to take a quick break from this. For everybody that's still watching, again, thank you very much. Keep the questions coming. We'll keep this going for like another 15 minutes. But for anyone that's showing up that didn't do so earlier, if you could please drop a like in the stream, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much for those that do it. Brian, what's an easy knot to tie braid to floral? I'm using uni to uni, but have had some failures. Always looking for something better and easy to tie in wind. So I'm having my own problem with that right now, and I don't know what the hell the issue is, but it's really driving me up a wall. Alberto knot, I swore by for years. I don't know what I'm doing. Anything that I tie with 8-pound leader, it's fine. I haven't broke off a single one. Anything with 10 or 12 pound or like literally anything 10 and 10 pound and higher, after like 30 casts, my knot breaks. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Leader knot thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a mystery because he's literally been tying that knot forever.
I know I'm tying it right because I've come home and looked at the freaking videos 30 times this season. And I still don't know what the hell is going wrong. I've changed out all my line. I bought new spool for literally all like 10, 12, 15 pound that I use just for leader, all brand new.
That's not wax line, is it?
Might be. It's dyed with J-braid, but that line's brand new. So this was happening on last year with different spools, on this year with different spools. I don't get it. That said, I'm the only person I know of that's having this problem. So I still highly recommend the Alberto knot. Very great, very easy to tie. Holds up better than uni to uni. with uni to uni, if I broke off, like I got hung up, more often than not, I'd break off with the leader knot. Whereas on Alberto, almost never break off with the leader knot. I break off with the hook. So depending on what you want to do.
Never broken off a leader knot.
FG knot, if you get into a good groove with it, is about as good as it gets.
I don't know how the hell I don't break off on mine. It's just so simple.
Yeah. Although, you know what?
Get it.
I just saw Jerry. Here we go. GT knot. GT knot, the only one to break at 100% of pound test. Some other knots average 62%. I'm going to learn the GT knot. I need a new knot for this weekend because I cannot go into a 2-day tournament with that question mark in all of my friggin' leader knots. Yeah. I can't do it. Yeah, go. So Dan, FOM glides are known for consistent great glides. Yep, absolutely. What else did I see? Oh, South Jersey again. Depends on your preferences, to be honest. It's all I use is braid to leader for everything. But you ain't wrong about backlashes. I had my worst backlash of the year 2 days ago. It took me 45 minutes to remove the backlash. That's the only reason I cannot commit to braid, because I don't want to...
I like fishing and not picking out knots.
And I don't want to detune my setups to then relearn, like, to get to that level of comfort that I have with it now for what little benefit I'm going to get out of braid. And in plenty of applications, there'll be more than a little benefit if I'm going to braid. But I'm not in a position right now where that's another thing that I want to have to relearn. I will at some point because I know it will be a benefit to me. But right now, I don't want to do that. I will at some point. I'm not that stubborn. One of my favorite things to do is to learn new things and to continuously improve in everything I do. Braid to leader on every setup is in my future, just not right now. We'll see. You know what?
I don't know.
This winter, when the new Lose stuff drops, I know I'm getting that 7.6 rod. I'm getting that new Elite TI reel.
9.5. Yes.
That one I will make my braid. And that one from straight out of the box. I'm going to dial that in. 20-pound braid, 15-pound leader.
Okay.
300-foot cast, here I come.
You buy.
Eat a sandwich while that thing's sailing through the air. You're very welcome, Brian. Here we go. Guggen, I've had Assassin slip with Alberto, but it's follow us with about everything, land blues and stripers on Lake Gear. That's what I like to hear.
If I'm throwing a big, expensive bait, I'm not throwing a leader. I don't care who.
Straight fluoro.
I don't care.
I'll go really heavy fluoro.
Using that because of a freaking leader knot.
Nope. Absolutely not.
I've had them break off on straight fluoro. My luck, it'll catch and rip the whole rod, the whole setup right in the water.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
seriously.
all set. 10-ounce bait pulling the whole rod.
Come
my
back.
arm in.
Yeah.
Oh, see ya. I guess I don't need that anymore.
Like that video of Oliver where he goes to cast and like it backlashes and catches, the whole rod just pops out of his hands.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen.
No, that would suck. Yeah, all right. Tell you what, last few minutes here. Any last minute questions you guys want to get in, by all means, let's hear them. We've been trying to keep these to about an hour, judging by the general flow of the conversation. Not trying to do these 2-hour shows anymore. I've got a lot more things I need to get done. And we start to see that significant drop-off from like an hour and a half into the last half an hour beyond. So these hour streams are working out really well. Been out for about an hour and 20 now. So I don't know. Like I felt like we answered a ton of questions. I hope we answered everything thoroughly enough for you guys. At any point, leave a comment on any of the videos. You can reach out to us through private messages. I've been a little bit behind on getting back to people, but I have gotten back to every single person that's reached out to me. So if you have a question, by all means, shoot it to me at any time. If something comes to mind later on, you want to just bend my ear on it or whatever.
I got something.
What?
I got that Black Dog shell cracker.
Yeah.
The big one.
Uh-huh.
Anybody want to trade it for something?
Ooh. You should post that up on Swimbait Universe.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a trade on that in a heartbeat. You get offers.
Okay.
Do it. Oh, not that one. Thoughts on Guggen baits? Knockoffs of good marketing, or do they actually make good, innovative baits?
Honestly, some of their stuff looks pretty damn good, but I'm not going to fish it because I don't need to. Really.
I've got no senseless hate left in my body. I just don't have the energy for it, and it's not healthy. And I've really learned my lessons. So, I don't know, man. I just don't have an opinion on them. I've heard so much chatter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't fished them myself. The only thing I fish from them is a rattling Ned, because I have friends that fish it, very close friends that I value their opinions and input greatly. Shit works. The only thing I've heard with consistency from people that I know and trust is their opinion. Yes, some of their baits are knockoffs. We know that to be a fact for at least one of the baits. Not that's a knockoff. Well, I guess it depends on your perspective, but that they paid for the rights to use the same design as another company. I guess there's no shame in that, right? They're paying for it. It's their right to use it. Who gives a shit in the end? And the other thing was I don't want to say quality because that's the wrong term and it implies it comes off as negative, but I guess the durability of the baits I've heard is not that great on them. Whether it's too much salt in them or it's just a poor quality, I don't know.
It's like a Yamamoto Senko.
Yeah.
They just kind of tear after a little bit.
Yep, that's the one thing that I've heard across the board consistently about them. Other than that, man, I really don't care what brand it is. If it's the right color, it's got the right action, and it catches me fish, I'll throw it. I don't care anymore. I really don't. I'm not a fanboy of anything. I'm not a hater of anything. If it looks like that's the right thing to throw in the conditions I'm thinking of, I'm putting it in the boat. Don't give a shit. South Jersey. I lost a burrito baits not showing that backlash. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, yikes. That's not good.
Those nachos are awesome. I want one. Faith first. What do the Guggen jerkbait say to the Megabass 110? I can't catch anything. I feel like such a fail lure.
Oh, that's
Dad
bad
jokes.
jokes.
Love it. JJ Fishing. Smelt smelly jelly worth the trouble? Do you actually mean smelt smelly jelly or just smelly jelly in general? I'll answer it from a smelly jelly in general. Yes. But also no. I don't know. There's been days, like very few days, where I swear it made the difference. And there's other days where I just don't think it matters whatsoever. In colder water, I will always add it because I do feel that there's going to be the odd occasion where it will make enough of a difference between success and failure. But it's not consistent enough of a difference that I can definitively say, yes, it pays off. Still a lot of work to be done on that. Dan, I'm not throwing them myself, but we sold a dozen 6 cents glide baits, and they were the big ones for $75 each, and the guys who bought them came back without complaints. For what it's worth. There you go. Can't ask for a better source than that. Joe, thoughts on the River to Sea S waiver? Thank you for bringing that up. That's another one of those more mass-produced ones that absolutely are phenomenal. I had 3. Lost one, and I gave the other 2 to friends.
I think I had 2. I got that one given to me because we rewired his trailer.
Yeah, Zach's trailer. He came over, rewired the whole thing, put on new lights. Mm-hmm. Banged that out in no time. He gave me a shell cracker.
And I got...
where the hell is that?
I don't know what you did with that. Didn't you give it to somebody to get painted?
Yeah, and I got it back.
And now it's gone.
I think I gave it to my kid. I went to go pilfer his tackle box, see where it is. I haven't seen it in ages. I don't know what the hell I did with it.
I don't know.
It was a great little bait. Anyway.
But yeah, the S waiver. That's a good bait.
Yep.
Those are good little glides.
Indeed, great answer, kind of. I tried. Jerry, hear a lot on here about drop shot and Ned. We use the Nico rig a lot here in Florida. Been using that a lot myself. Last 2 years now, 2.5 years. Oddly enough, that's what I caught my PB largely on. And yeah, no, that's phenomenal technique. Still do a lot of playing around with that. Well beyond just a Senko too. Stickworm, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's a couple of crawfish baits out there that work really, really well as Nico rig setup. We have to give that a shot this weekend.
What?
Crawfish Nico rig. I still have some. It's a very specific brand that I don't see anybody throwing. But it works really well in that technique. I guarantee you don't even know what I'm talking about because I guarantee you've looked right past them every time you've been in the box for all the jig trailers. For good reason, because they look like shit. But when you throw them on an eco rig, they shine.
The black blue claws that you have in there with no fucking anything to them, but they actually have claws.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know what they are.
I have those and then green pumpkin and like the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
They work well. Actually, last time there was a tournament we did here in New Hampshire, smallmouth only lake. And that's what I put the last 3 fish in the boat on, and ended up pulling 4th place. Made some good money. It was good. It was good. I had to think of something different because everything else was not working that day. It was bad.
I don't even know where it was.
Spro has a Chad Shad coming. Interesting.
Hell is a Chad Shad? I want to know.
I got you, buddy.
Is it a glide?
Spro Chad Shad. Yep, it's glide. Ooh.
How big is it?
180? Yeah, too small.
Sorry. I can't go down. I can't downsize anymore.
No, dude, bigger is better when it comes to glides.
Is my limit now. I can't go below that.
I've got all these like 7.5-inch glides now. I'm looking at my box. I'm like, I don't even want them anymore. Now that I've seen what I can do with the bigger baits, and it's all clicked.
I don't know.
Like I don't even want to touch them.
I don't know. I would probably go down. What is it? The 170, the Gancraft.
Yeah. Would you though? Would you?
Instead of throwing a jerkbait, I would throw that.
So, yes. I read something today on Swimbait Universe. I was like, huh, no shit. That's smart. And then I was very sad that I don't have any of those size glides anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway. Everyone thrown an MS Slammer. No, I have not. I wanted to buy one, but shush.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But no, I haven't. Yeah, all right. You know what? I think it's a good point to call it quits. I started to see some people drop off. Questions are slowing
the
down.
Slammer is the one like the
it's giant wig
the
bait.
big Pats looking one.
Yep.
Yeah, who the hell has one of those?
Travis.
Travis Herring?
Yep.
That's where. Yeah, okay.
We were fishing local to where I take the kids, the high school kids, for practice all the time. The res.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first time Travis and I fished, or one of the first few times.
Something there.
He did. He got on something different, but right before that. So first thing in the morning, dude, he lost a giant on that thing. And then shortly after that, I stuck a 4-pound, 2-ounce smallmouth in 4 feet of water and 82-degree surface temp.
Oh yeah.
So this day on a buzzbait, yeah. You want to talk about random? That's random. And then shortly after, they cut like a 5.4 or something like that. So it was good. All right, one last question from JJ, then we'll call it quits.
Sorry, I can't answer that at the moment. We can answer it next week, though.
Plead the fifth.
Plead the
answer. So, all right, thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. Before you go, if you haven't done it yet, please drop a like on the stream. Anybody watching this after the fact, by all means, anything we didn't get to, or again, if you weren't here for the live and there's a question you wanted to ask, dude, drop it down in the comments below. Like anybody, anytime. The video is always there on YouTube after the fact. After the live is done, it just goes up like it's a regular upload. So it's always there to be watched at any time. Throw us questions at any time, or just general comments, like even feedback for what you like or don't like. As long as it's constructive, I don't care. Anything just helps paint us a better picture for what you like, what you don't like, what we can improve on, so on and so forth. So I'm not sure what the hell we're going to do for next week. Maybe we'll just do a recap of the tournaments. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, by the seat of our pants like we usually do. So thank you all. Much appreciated.
This is all ad lib.
You just saw it's all we do. But we're good at it because this is what we love to do. So it just comes easy. Yes. Although ask this guy to do it in front of a camera, like live in front of an audience, he's like, yeah, it doesn't miss a beat. And then it's no longer live, but the camera's on. He's like, I don't know what to say.
I don't know how to do this. I don't like it. Anyways.
Sign her off.
We will see you guys next week. Every week, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock at youtube.com/603bass. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, youtube.com/603. I'll just keep repeating it so you guys are stuck in your head. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great night, everybody.
See you guys.